loves, Kim here, and I'm back with another video. So if this is your first time on the channel, I just would like to say welcome and thank you so much for watching. And if you like what you see, feel free to click that subscribe button and make sure you have post notifications on, that way you never miss an upload from me. And if you're an OG that's been here for a minute, thank you so much for coming back. So today I wanted to talk about how I build a basic standard home in The Sims 4. Now I'm going to say this, that there is no right or wrong way with building a house. This is just how I typically build my basic homes. And you know, hopefully this video helps someone out there. So let's get on into it. So as you can see, this is what build mode looks like when you first get into it. And the first thing I like to do is I like to change my lighting. Now I think by default The Sims kind of generate the lighting based on the time of day it is in game, but if you adjust the lighting output by pressing the letter L or by clicking this little area up here, it's just going to give you the brightest light. So I'm going to click L a couple of times until I get back into the afternoon, and as you can see, it's a lot brighter. I think it goes by maybe like 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock when the sun is highest in the sky, opposed to whatever time it is in game. So I like to do that first. Alright, so let's get into the build. So the first thing I'm going to do is press the letter B. Boop. And then the letter B basically brings up all of our walls and our flooring options, just like our basic building tools. So I like to build using build by room, and I like to make sure that my view is with the walls up. Some people like to build with the walls down. Some people even build with the cutaway walls. I like to see everything at once, so I just build with the walls up. And I typically, if I haven't sketched out and and like planned for a build, if I'm doing something like smaller or on a whim, I like to build using the room tool. I just think it is a lot faster and a lot more efficient for seeing just a general shape of the home. So I'm gonna start off, I usually start off with like a bigger area. So I think this is probably gonna be like our living room space here. And don't worry if you don't like it, or if you want to adjust some things, you can definitely do so. That is the power of build mode. So this is going to be kind of like our living room, dining room area. I'm going to make a little opening here for like our kitchen, like so. And then I typically put my bedrooms towards the back, only because those are more private areas, so you don't want everyone in your bedroom space. So in order to just swivel around like so with my mouse, I'm clicking in my trackball in the middle, my track wheel, and I'm just swiveling around my mouse, so it gives me more control of seeing different angles. Also, by the way, I'm using the Sims 3 camera. I never really built in the Sims 4 camera. I tried when I first got the game, but I really didn't like how it looked, so I just stuck with what I felt more comfortable in, and I feel like I have a bit more control with the Sims 3 camera anyway. Alright, so as you saw, I just made 2 additional rooms around the back. Don't worry, I'm going to adjust some things in a minute, but this is our general shape here. Alright, so we got our main area, kitchen, bedrooms. We're gonna have a front and a back porch. And in this video, I'm just gonna go over like basic building. I'm not really gonna get into landscaping or furnishing this time, but definitely in the future. Alright, so when I have a nice general shape that I like, I think I want to adjust some things. You can easily do so. So I'm going to press the letter H. That access our select tool if you don't want to use the shortcut, and this toolbar up here is going to be this first option here. It looks like an arrow, and I think this is out a little bit too far, so I'm just going to click. It's going to give me some arrows letting me know that I can stretch the room in certain directions, and I'm going to bring that in one. So yeah, just an easy way to make adjustments if you need to do so. And yeah, I think that's good. Alright, so we're going to do a little bit of adding in our doors and windows, just so we can have an idea of how the Sims are going to access the lot. And with that, I like to make sure that I'm on the same level where I'm adding the doors and windows in, just so I can see everything nice and clearly. So the front door, I wanted to make a little bit of a statement. So I'm gonna go with this one here. I like red. So I'm just gonna place it in the general area where I think I want my door to be. I think that works. And now I'm going to pick out a back door. I like my back door to be a little bit more simple. And I usually like a back door with a window just so you can see outside from the inside, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna pick something basic like this, put it around back, like so. And now I'm gonna add in some windows around the place. And you know, have fun with this. Don't feel like you're committed to any particular type of window or any type of door. If you don't like it, delete it and pick something else. That's a big window. I think I'm gonna go with this one. So I'm just gonna go around and place these windows where I see fit. Like so. And then I think for like our kitchen area, I'm gonna do a slightly different window. No particular reason, I just want to change it up in the kitchen. And I think I'm going to maybe use one with shutters. Why not? All right, so now that I have the general shape, our doors and windows on the exterior, I'm going to go ahead and place my doors on the interior, just so we're able to access the different rooms. So I actually want my kitchen to move over one, so I'm just gonna click. Now I can either move the whole room or I can drag. Either one, it does the same thing. And since we moved over our kitchen, I think I'm gonna add one more grid tile to our living room. Okay, and now I just realized that our back door is in our second bedroom, so I'm gonna create a hallway. I'm gonna go back to our building tools by pressing the letter B. I'm gonna click the wall tool individually, click and drag. And now we have a hallway or a corridor that's going to lead from our main area out back. All right, so for the doors, I like to start off with something nice and simple. And if I see something that grabs my eye a little bit later on, I'll change it, of course. So we need a door for bedroom 1. Gonna need a door into bedroom number 2. And then for the kitchen, I typically either have it wide open or I add like an archway. So in this case, I'm gonna add an arch. And the arches are in the door section as well. They're typically all the way at the bottom, so I'm just scrolling down until I see my arches. Boom. Place that right in the middle. Now I have access to the kitchen. And then for this hallway, I think I'm just going to delete these 2 walls here, just so we have a nice access all the way down to the back. All right. So now I realize that I did not allow for any spaces for the bathroom. That's fine, perfectly normal. We all forget things. So again, with our rooming building tools, I press the letter B, and I'm going to add, using the room tool, just a little space for a bathroom. So I'm thinking maybe this can be like our master bathroom. So there's gonna be like a little ensuite in here. And then maybe I can add a little general bathroom over here. Why not? There we go. And now I'm going to go back in with our basic wall tool. Close that off. That way there's a little bit of an alcove going into the bathroom. I'm gonna go ahead and move this door to the side so we can access that room. We need to be able to access our bathroom and our ensuite. So typically, let me add in some lights. That's another thing I like to do. So I typically use the filter objects by room. You can also do objects by function, but I like objects by room just because it just helps me to know what objects are gonna go where. I'm gonna go ahead and get a light here. This is the one I love to use when building. It's called the subtle saucer light. And I think it's just one of the brightest in game. So I'm gonna put one in each room, just so we can see what's going on here. Like so, like so. All right, I'm gonna get my eyedropper tool. On my keyboard, I press the letter E. But if you want to use the toolbars, it's this one here. It looks like a little eyedropper. I'm gonna grab this door because I wanna use that same door for my ensuite bathroom. And you can tell which way the door is going to swing based on where the knob is. So if the knob is on the right, when you open it, the door is going to swing to the left. If you don't like the way that looks, you can just switch it around by pressing the comma or the period keys. That's how you rotate objects. So we're going to do that like that. Like so. And yeah, this is the basics of our house. So now that we have the floor plan on the inside kind of situated, now it's time for us to start adding a roof. So our roofing category is over here. Like I said, if you look in the build mode, it's going to show you basically the construction of a house. So it's very, very easy to find what is going to be where and how you should lay it out in relation to the home. So I think I'm going to use a gable roof. A gable roof kind of looks like a triangle with flat pieces on the side. So with the arrows that was sticking out on the side, I was able to click and drag. This arrow at the top allows us to adjust the pitch or the height of the roof. There's like some little arrows on the side that allows you to adjust the length of the tips here. So if I pull it out, it makes it longer. If I pull it back in, it makes it shorter. Pull it back out to average. Now, if you wanted to adjust one side of the roofing at a time, you press down the button shift, and now you can click and drag things out individually. So as you can see, the tip on the right is remaining the same, but the one that I'm adjusting by holding down shift, I can adjust that individually. So that's pretty cool. Also, if you notice these little circles here, it kind of adjusts the curvature or how curvy the roof is going to be. So I can make it look like that or like that. I'm going to undo it a couple times just so we get back to our normal roof. Also, if you press the buttons Control and C, it gives you more points to make curves on your roofing. So if I adjust the top one, just towards the top of the roof is going to adjust. If you notice, these are still relatively straight, and I can just adjust more points individually along the roof line this way. Very, very handy stuff. I'm going to keep a pretty standard gable roof, so I just went back to the default by pressing undo or Control Z, and I'm going to click and drag my gable roof on out. I think that looks good so far. So I'm going to make another gable roof. I can either go into my roofing objects, click and drag again, or with the roof still selected, and it also works for rooms. If you notice these two little squares, that's going to give me an option to copy. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to rotate it using the period and comma buttons, and I'm going to place it where I want it to be. Nice. Okay, and then I'm just going to drag this all the way out so it covers this area over here. And then I'm just going to drag my bathroom out one tile just so everything is nice and even underneath that roof. I think I'm going to go ahead and make another gable roof over here above the kitchen area. Actually, let's try something different. Let's try a half hipped roof. So it basically looks like a pyramid on one side, and then on the other side is flat like our gable roofing. Let's see if we like that over here. Not so bad. I'm gonna drag it out some more just so we can't see that flat area and it looks like it blends into the rest of our roof. That's not so bad. I think I'm going to keep it. Let's drag it out one more because I see a little bit of a gap here. There we go. Now around the back, I think I want to use a half gable roof. So instead of a triangle, it looks like a slant. And I want to cover this whole area back here so we can have a backyard with a little bit of cover. Typically, when I have roof over an area that does not have a room underneath, I like to go ahead and add a floor on the second level. And you can see that we're on the second level because of where our grid tiles are. You can toggle on and off the grids by pressing the letter G. So now it's off, now it's back on. I'm gonna go ahead and place my L-shaped flooring here, and I'm just going to drag and cover the area that I know I want to be covered outside on our patio later on. So I'm just making sure that area is covered. And I'm gonna drag it back just a little bit, just to make sure we're nice and covered. Now, like I said, I'm gonna get the half gable roof here, click, place it where I need it to be placed. So I have a piece hanging off here. I'm gonna go ahead, use my arrow, drag that back, pull it out to cover my whole area for our patio. And now I'm going to use the arrow at the top to adjust the pitch or adjust the height, like so. And now I see that there's a gap here in between the roof, so I'm just going to use my arrow pointing backwards and drag that back into the rest of the house. There we go. Now I don't like how this piece is clipping into the other roof, so I'm going to grab this arrow that controls the tips. I'm going to hold down the shift button and drag that back just a little bit. And now, as you can see, it's no longer clipping inside of that other roof. All right. So now we're going to talk about porches, patios, and adjusting our foundation height. So just as before, we're going to press the letter B. This gives us all of our main building tools. And I'm going to use this flat square piece just to create our porch area. I'm going to place it right outside the front door. And I'm going to determine how big I want the porch to be. I want it to cover that whole area here. And I'm just going to bring this back one tile, because I don't want the front porch to be too big. This isn't a really big home. So I think that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and establish a back patio area or back porch, whichever you call it. And this one's going to be a bit bigger. So same thing, grab my flat piece, stretch it out across the area that I want to be considered our back porch. And there we go. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Now the whole point of a porch is that it's elevated off the ground. So let's talk about foundation. With the recent foundation update that happened right before Get Famous came out, right before that point, we had a slider in our UI for the building in order to adjust the foundation. Now with the update, we can adjust it directly from the room. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. And we have these things now called room clusters. Basically, a room cluster is when several rooms connect by a wall, so they're all touching. And this also applies to the flooring. Even though we don't have a room outside where the porches are, the flooring is touching the house. So when I adjust the foundation of one room, everything touching it is going to adjust. And if there's a separate room not touching the cluster, then that's not going to be adjusted. You'll be able to change that individually. So I will show you. I'm going to create a room here. I'm going to raise the foundation of our house. And I'm going to show you that it's not going to affect this room because it's not a part of our cluster. Everything touching is our cluster. The things that are not touching is not our cluster. So in order to adjust the foundation, you select the room like I did here. There's going to be this little box with 2 arrows here. And in order to make a elevated house, I'm going to click and pull it upwards. And as you can see, everything outlined in green is going to be adjusted. Like so. And now you can see our house is on a foundation. And as you will notice, the room that we made that was not touching the house did not adjust because it's not a part of that same room cluster. Some great things you can also do with this tool is that you can make things as tall as you want. Oh, that wasn't a good example. You can make things as tall as you want. I mean, of course there are limits, but you can make things really, really high up. You can make things really pushed into the ground. So those are just some of the advantages with the new foundation tool. All right, so we're gonna get rid of that. So in order to make a porch, typically we have a fencing or some sort of enclosure. And a lot of times by default, it goes to replace fence. You can also draw the fence or make a fence by enclosure. In this case, I'm going to replace the fence. I'm gonna pick something very basic to go around our porch area in the front. And then we'll do the same thing around back. And now we gotta place our stairs somewhere. So I'm just gonna pick some basic stairs here. Now typically if you didn't have the move objects on, it wouldn't allow you to do that, but since we do, it looks a little funny. But as soon as you place it, it automatically gets rid of the fencing that's in the way. And by default, it gives us 1 tile stairs. If you want to make it bigger, just use the arrow to the side, stretch it on out, like so. And then we're gonna go ahead and add in some railing. There we go. And I'm going to copy these stairs and put them around back. So like I said, if you select something, usually if you select something in build mode, it's going to give you the option to either move it, rotate it left or right, or move or copy it. I'm sorry. So I'm going to copy this stairs and put it around back using my period and comma keys to rotate. And then we copy the stairs from the front to the back. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up things here. If you haven't done so already and you're enjoying this video, be sure to subscribe. Also click that notification bell, that way you never miss an upload from me. And don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. It lets me know what you like and what you would like to see more of. And definitely down in the comments, let me know what videos you want to see in the future from me. And if you feel so inclined to do so, find me on my social medias. My Instagram handle is Simply-Nisey. I post my thumbnails and some things about my personal life. If you're interested, you can definitely find me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Simply-NiseyYT. I feel like we can have the best dialogue and conversation over there on Twitter. And if you like to download some builds from me and see what else I have available for you to play around in game, find me on Origin. My Origin ID is Simply-Nisey. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye guys.